Hey, it is Mike the NBA guy, and today I'm going to be talking about Doc Rivers, who was just yesterday let go from his job as the Clippers head coach. And I was not expecting this. Okay, now when the Clippers lost in Game 7, I assumed Doc Rivers would be fired. Okay, because everyone did, because he blew a 3-1 lead for the third time in his career, which is just very pathetic. That's not just more times than anyone else, that's two more times than anyone else because no head coach has ever blown more than one 3-1 lead, and he's now done it three times. So, not a great look, okay? And I expected him to stay though because they didn't fire him immediately. Everything coming out of the organization made it seem like he was going to stay. What I'm assuming happened is Kawhi went to the GM and said, "Hey, I want this dude gone." And they immediately fired him because, let's be real, the Clippers are just Kawhi's bitch at this point. Okay, that organization, they're going to do anything Kawhi says, no hesitation. Because despite choking in Game 7, he's still one of the best players in the NBA, debatably the second best behind LeBron, and they're going to do everything they possibly can to keep him. Whatever makes him happy. All right. So now Doc Rivers has been fired. I assume that Ty Lue is going to be his replacement, but I'm not sure about that. Okay, Ty Lue is still my first choice of the available candidates for head coach. My second choice might be Doc Rivers. And I have mixed feelings about that because I do not think he's a great coach. I don't even know if I'd go as far as to say he's a good coach. He's a very inconsistent coach, okay? But there are people who sit there and think he's a straight up bad coach, and I don't believe that. Despite all his issues, he has had a lot of success, okay? 20 now people overrate his 2008 championship. All right, people who defend him overrate that a little bit too much because that was one of the greatest teams of all time, okay? Like that team absolutely should have won a championship. I'm pretty sure Brett Brown could have coached prime Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce to a championship on the same team, okay? That's not very impressive, all right? So Doc Rivers doesn't get a ton of credit for that, but he's an experienced coach. He's worked with a lot of difficult players, okay? Rajon Rondo, Pierce, Garnett, Chris Paul. Now this year with Paul George and Kawhi, although it doesn't seem like he handled this year very well. But the point stands, he's coached a lot of difficult players and difficult rosters, okay? Most of those Clippers teams were injured, okay? Players underperformed. It wasn't all his fault. I still don't think he's a great coach. I think he may be a slightly above average coach, however, and I think he knows the basics very well. And he is absolutely a better coach than Mike D'Antoni. I do not understand at all these people who legitimately want the Sixers to hire Mike D'Antoni and they think he's going to be a great coach and he's going to help this team. Are you blind? Like, honestly, have you seen our roster? Have you seen this team? And ignoring the small ball thing, okay, because the small ball is Daryl Morey, not Mike D'Antoni. But what has Mike D'Antoni not done ever since Phoenix? He has not coached a good defense, okay? He runs a very fast paced team that's all about guards. That is not our team, okay? That's not our team whatsoever. Simmons is not his typical type of guard. Sorry, I'm tired. Simmons is not his typical type of guard who can shoot, okay? And he does not coach big men well, okay? Joel Embiid is going to be wasted under his system. And he's also going to be run to death because Joel Embiid is not meant to play in a super fast-paced offense, okay? Our team, for everything Brett Brown was wrong about with our team and all the bullshit that was this year, Brett Brown and Elton Brand were right about one thing. This team is going to be based on their defense, okay? Defense first. We need to be one of the best defensive teams in the league. And while Doc Rivers isn't necessarily like the world's greatest defensive coach, he's way better than Mike D'Antoni because Mike D'Antoni does not care about defense. I do not want him to coach our team, okay? I would hate that. Doc Rivers is a much better option than him. All right. So I am okay if we hire Doc Rivers. I'm not necessarily going to be thrilled about it, but considering the options, Doc Rivers and Ty Lue I think are the two best. I would still prefer Ty Lue, But if it means Doc Rivers instead of Mike D'Antoni, taking Doc Rivers 100 times out of 100, okay? And one more thing to mention with him, he does have experience coaching strange players, including elite point guards who can't shoot, like Rajon Rondo. Now, I know him being a terrible shot and Ben Simmons refusing to shoot are a little bit different, but still, he's experienced coaching a great passing and defensive point guard who's not exactly a good shooter. Okay? So I'm not saying Rajon Rondo and Ben Simmons are super similar necessarily, but they're not super different either. And I think that experience is important for him helping with Simmons' development. All right? So that's all I've got to say in this video. The Sixers hired Doc Rivers. I would be pretty indifferent about it. You know, I would be happy about it just because it means we didn't hire Mike D'Antoni. Still, fingers crossed for Ty Lue, but that's looking less likely every day. So Doc Rivers, I'm not too upset if we hire him. Elton Brand, please, please, please don't fuck this up and hire Mike D'Antoni. Alright, so that's all I've got to say in this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.